Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about Texas and the Attorney General and some developments there that have led to people asking whether or not something is right around the corner. For a whole lot of people, the same thing that everybody has been waiting for when it comes to Trump, there have been a lot of people waiting on that for the Attorney General of Texas as well. So if you don't know, the Attorney General of Texas, Paxton, has been under investigation. It's a corruption investigation. And the investigation was handled by federal prosecutors in Texas. It was recently transferred to the Public Integrity section of the Department of Justice, that in D.C. People are asking if the transfer of that case to the Public Integrity section means that like an indictment is like right around the corner. No, not necessarily. It doesn't really mean that. To be honest, it's kind of weird that it hadn't been transferred before. Generally speaking, when it's a statewide office, especially one that the prosecutors in the state might have to work with, like the Attorney General, it gets transferred there almost immediately. So it being transferred there now doesn't really mean anything in and of itself. It should be noted that according to the AP, there are the prosecutors, the federal prosecutors in Texas, believed they had enough for an indictment. But that in and of itself doesn't mean that that's why it was transferred. This may just be a moment when they realize the conflict that could occur between federal prosecutors who often have to use, state and local law enforcement assets in investigating the Attorney General of that state. That could lead to a lot of uncomfortable conversations, I'm sure. So it's been transferred to D.C. We'll see what it means. The Public Integrity section has a pretty lengthy history, and this is what they do. They go after political figures who are wrapped up in some kind of alleged crime. I would point out that Smith, the counsel looking into Trump, used to head this section. It's kind of their gig. Paxton recently kind of settled a civil aspect of something that was kind of related to the overall corruption investigation. And he also, if I'm not mistaken, he still has a 2015 indictment out there for securities, for something to do with securities. So the transfer of this to the Public Integrity section, it might have something to do with the civil settlement that appears to have occurred. That may be a more likely reason for it to be transferred than, they're ready to indict. I would think that if they were ready to indict, they would have let the federal prosecutors in Texas just do it themselves. But we'll have to wait and see how it plays out, because while it doesn't necessarily mean that it's indictment time, that's not how it works. It doesn't get transferred there for an indictment. That doesn't mean that they won't be indicting him soon either. That investigation has been going on for a while. So anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.